Furry Conventions! What fun! There's literally no better event to get to know and hang out with the beloved, cute, and fluffy animals of our fandom. So, why don't you go to one, Dylan? I... I don't know how to! Hello everyone, my name's A2K and today's Let's Talk Furry is about furry conventions, especially for more of the newer furries of the fandom. Furry conventions are large gatherings of furries at a place like a convention center with plenty of events planned. It's almost like you can see it as a festival, but for furries. When I first heard of furry conventions, I was so excited to know they existed, and, well, sad too because I realized I was lonely. But nevertheless, the only thought in my head was, I need to go to one of those. But then I realized, wait, what am I doing? How do I attend a convention? What should I do? And how do I enjoy myself there? Well, today I aim to answer all these questions. Except that I've never really had much experience with any of these things, so instead of trying to scrape together a script, today we'll be interviewing a furry who has plenty of knowledge on conventions, Caffeine Fox. I really have no more anecdotal experience to share for this video, so I'll jump right into the interview. So, introductions. Who are you, Caff?
Hi, my name's Caffeine Fox. If you haven't heard of me on YouTube, it's probably because
You're on
I do
culture.
everything in my power to make the algorithm not work in my favor. Hi. I'm about as basic as you can be. I'm A, a fox, and B, named and colored after a popular energy drink.
You're talking
Thank you for having me on, A2K.
No problem. So, the next question's jumping a gap a bit, I guess. How frequently do you attend conventions?
So right now my answer is going to be a little different than how it used to be because, stuff going on in the world.
Let's just say, 2020, yes, that sucked. How often would you want to attend conventions?
So before everything started, I was going to about maybe three to four cons a year. It just depended.
Oh my god, you're so lucky.
Like in America, there's a lot of cons around. You're in your element for an entire weekend, and it's a good opportunity to just let all of that pent up "I'm not a furry" out. Because when you go to work every day, school, whatever, it's really easy to get sucked into like, hello, I am like one of you. And going to a con is a good way to like get that out of your system.
So do you attend any conventions in particular?
I'd have to say like out of all the cons, Furry Con, or IFC for short, is probably the con we go to the most, followed by MFF. But that's just because MFF's like really big.
Oh,
and it's
you
like
go to MFF.
Yeah, it's only like a 4-hour drive for me. Furry Con is my favorite con by far, though, just because it's not too large. It's like just the right size, where you can kind of see the entire con in one day, but it's a lot of the stuff that happens outside the con space that really makes that con. So it's a lot of like hanging out with people you haven't met, and in my case, getting wild at parties. It's a fun party con.
All right. Yeah, I guess that kind of like ties in with the next question. What is your experience at such cons? Where do you find the enjoyment and stuff?
Honestly, it's this surrealness of the cons that I enjoy the most. Of course, followed by like the social interactions. It's kind of like a giant family reunion. Everybody's separated by like all these distances, and you finally come together and like say, oh hey, it's my crazy aunt Spirit Fox over there.
Does this imply like furries have some mutual connection between them? It's like, look, you over there, I'll go hug you, assume you'll be fine with it. You are, and that's a really nice connection between the two of us.
Yeah, for sure.
I shouldn't have used hugs as a good example. Hugs should be asked for and consented at cons. Like first of this just have that like kind of natural connection between them. Like we both know we want the same things. We both have the general premise of craving cuddles at a convention.
To a degree, I've met some really sweaty fursuits before, and I've been kind of like, yo, you're not gonna you stay over there, you sweaty octopus, whatever. Fursuits are hot and sweaty, but
Yep.
people are usually willing to look over it.
I learned now that furries are just really like social, interactive beings, I guess. It's a really nice thing. And this con
Yeah,
is like a great way to like meet them and stuff.
who would have known that the most human aspect of being human would come from being something that's not based on humans?
Yeah, I know. Like furries, I get a lot of backlash for being a furry. That's just how furries work. Maybe inside, I feel that like as a furry, I'm in the better spot in terms of social interaction or just being happy than whoever's just backlashing me.
Yeah. What if being a cuddly animal is just a way to disguise that initial anxiety with talking with people
It
that a lot of
is.
us
It
seem to
is.
have?
Is there anything in particular that you recommend, especially for a new fur attending a convention for the first time?
There is so much I could put for like helpful advice, but if you were on a desert island, a furry desert island, and you're getting ready to like, set sail to this con, I would say the first thing you want to pack with you is is money. Cons are expensive, and unless you have like really, really, really big willpower, you're not going to be able to make it through the dealer's den without at least wanting to. Um, yeah, it's so. I mean, money obviously, but another thing is also another person.
Another
So
person.
this varies a bit, but I've found that cons are a lot more enjoyable when you find a friend to go with you, because otherwise you're kind of experiencing it all on your own. And for somebody going to a con for the first time, it can be like really there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of like a lot of stuff to take in, and having somebody there with you really helps alleviate some of that anxiety, or at least uh, not wanting to fully commit to the
Ooh.
experience.
That's something new. I didn't know before. I mean, actually, everything here is new that I've never learned before. It's kind of why I made this video. That's kind of like what your point though is kind of contrary to why I want to go to my first con. I don't have any furry friends.
I mean, you can definitely make furry friends at those cons, and then for future cons, you go with that person
Exactly. That is
or
my
friend.
first con.
Also, water and snacks. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so unless you live next to the hotel, chances are you're going to be staying at that hotel and eating around the area, like with whatever restaurants are there.
Mm-hmm.
Add up, and when it adds up, it cuts into your dealer's den money, which you want that sweet, sweet art.
Yeah.
Um, so I typically like to bring like what is it, like protein bars and some water with me, just so I wake up, eat a protein bar, and that's my breakfast. I don't have to spend $20 for hotel breakfast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As an official fursuit owner, what are your opinions on the statement you don't need a fursuit to go to a convention?
I absolutely believe in it 100%. So I can see from the outside how going to a con, you might feel like you need a fursuit. It's just photos on Twitter or even the news always put fursuits at the forefront whenever anything's talking about furries.
It's
Just
stereotypical.
yeah, it's the one thing that really, captures people's eyes immediately.
Yeah.
Um, so by having this narrative of like all fursuits everywhere, it kind of skews it to making people believe that they have to have a fursuit. And that's like so far from the truth. Honestly, most of my interactions with like people that I would call a friend have been outside of a fursuit and never needed one to begin with. It's fursuits are like a luxury. So it's kind of like, sure, if you go to a car meet, everybody's trying to show off their Ferrari or Porsche. But at the same time, would you say like you have to have a really awesome car to be a part of a car meet, or you could meet people at that car meet that like cars too, just like you do?
Ooh, I see. Yeah. That's a great way to put it. So, TLDR, you what you recommend for going to a convention for the first time? You need money. You need like other stuff so you don't have to spend your money on food. You need it's good to have a friend, and is there anything else?
There's bound to be a lot of other ones. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. If you're going to a con, also, yeah, it's really crowded typically. There's going to be areas of the hotel where people like to mingle, and if you're not good with crowds,
Maybe
you might.
conventions aren't your thing.
Yeah, I mean they can be. It's just if you want to get to where all the action is, like where all the fursuiters are posing for pictures and stuff, that's usually in like the more pop in place of the hotel. Especially with MFF, that's just literally wall to wall people. Like it's hard to walk without bumping shoulders.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if you're able to put yourself out of that comfort zone for just a weekend, you'll have a great time. Unless like you have really really big social anxiety.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's been great having you on. I just want to thank you for answering all these questions, and just hope you have a great rest of the day.
Hey, for sure. And again, thank you so much for having me on. If any of y'all are watching this, I highly recommend subbing to A2K. Do it. Go ahead and just do it. Not to quote Nike, but just do it.
And I think that's going to be it for the interview. I really hope you learned something from that, because I definitely did, and I think as a furry, I know a lot more about attending conventions now. I do have the full interview, and I will be posting that on my second channel, More Delta Wolfie Antics. So if you want to, you can go check that out right here. Apart from that, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye!